Hi there. I'd like to give you a quick introduction into how to get the Business Edition 6000 version 9 up and running pretty quickly. Here on the screen you'll see a server. This is in fact a Business Edition server. It's one I have reset, so hence it's booting up now. It's picked up an IP address. This is on the management interface. I've got DHCP running on my network. It's picked it up automatically. If it hadn't, you can easily set one. But let's wait while the server is booting up. As I said, this server, I've reset the config just so we can watch it, the process and the steps you need to deploy a VM on a Business Edition. So this will take another minute or so just to come online. You can see it's going through the usual startup process that a UCS server would. The reason I kept this in is just so that you can actually see this in its entirety. Here we go now. So here we have ESXi loading up. If this was a new server out of a box, it would actually go through the installation, but that's a relatively quick process as well. There's nothing you actually need to do. ESXi will install itself, and as you can see now, it's just loading up. Those of you familiar with UCS servers, ESXi, this will all probably seem quite familiar to you. Right, we're nearly there now, and as you can see, ESXi is now loaded. It tells you the release. This is version 5, tells you the server build and the amount of memory. And as you can see here, at the moment there's no address for the tools. If we're running DHCP, you'll see this automatically update. First of all, we're going to log on to the server. With new servers, the password by default is password and the logon name is root, as you can see. So let's go ahead first and set a password. You can see here it's actually saying that there isn't one set, so I'll go ahead, type my new password, and now it will tell me that the password has been set. Let's go and have a look at one of the other options. Let's configure the management network now. As you can see here, it's picked up an address using DHCP, but for the sake of this exercise, let's go in and change that. So there's a config. Let me go in. You can see it's set to use DHCP. I want to use a static address, so I select that option, and now I can actually go in and manually enter an IP address. You can set the subnet mask, gateway, whatever you needed. And as you can see, the address I've set is 1.155, and that's updated now, you can see. So that's the management network address. You can also go in and configure your DNS settings here as well, and your VLAN if you need one. Right, so I'm just going to reset the management network, so I'll apply these changes. And there we go, just confirmation now that management network is showing the new address I've configured. Right, and you can see on the main page there again, it's telling me that the address that's been configured and that it's a static address. Right, now we've done that, let's go ahead and install the VMware vSphere client. First of all, I'm going to browse to the address of my host. Dependent on your browser, you might just get an exception error. Yep. Now you should get to this page where you can select to download the vSphere client. And I'll save it. Even if you have a vSphere client already, if it's not the right version, you'll need to go and get a new copy. As you can see, this is going to take a few minutes to download, so let's come back once it's been downloaded. Here we are. We now have the VMware vSphere client installed. This is on a Windows laptop, and as you can see, I'm using the credentials that I'd configured previously on the host. Just wait while it connects. And as you can see now, that's the evaluation message that comes up. And there's the host. You can see there on the top left. Right, let's go ahead and set the NTP. And you can see you have a number of options here. This is all familiar, to those of you who are used to deploying UCS servers. So we go in the time config, we click properties, options, and let's go down to NTP settings, and let's add an NTP server. Now, whatever this might be for yourselves, this is just putting an address in now, and I'll select restart NTP service, and I click OK, OK, and as you can see now, that's changed to show that it's in a running status. Also, now we want to download an OVA template, so let's go to Storage, select the data store, right click it, and you can see Browse Data Store. And within this folder, you can see now we have all the ISO files and the OVA files as well. So let's select UC Manager OVA. You can either right click and hit download, select a destination on your desktop or anywhere else on your server or PC, and that will download. Alternatively, you could have highlighted and click the icon to download. In this example here, I'm just going to show how to get the UC Manager up and running. You could as well use the Provisioning Manager. So here's the OVA file on my desktop that I've just downloaded. Let's go ahead and deploy the OVA template. I'm just going to browse to it. It was on my desktop. There we go. Select Open. Next. Next again. Oh, you can just have a look there just to make sure you're getting the right one. You can give a name to your server. I'm just going to leave the default. And here you select which file the only option available really is the 1000 user node. We do have the other options there, although they're not valid. You can see here it says C200 only, but it does include the C220. And you have some information there about memory, CPU, and disk space it's going to take up. Make sure you select Thick Provision Lazy Zeroed. This is the default option. And you can see here, before clicking Finish, you'll see just some information on the machine you're about to deploy. And you can see there, it says been deployed successfully. Now, if you hit the plus sign next to the host, you can see that you have the VM edit settings. Let's go down to CD DVD. Go down to the data store ISO file. Let's browse to the UC Manager ISO file. This is the one that I showed you earlier. It's in the same location with the OVA files. And it's the bottom one. That's UC Manager and Unity connection, by the way. And click OK. And go to the top there, and we put Connect at Power On. So we hit OK, and as you can see, right click, let's power on the virtual machine now, and let's go and view what's happening through the console, the VM console. And this is UC Manager now, booting up of the ISO image, and it will run through the installation. And this should be familiar to everyone who's deployed any of the UC applications. You do need to deploy one of the provisioning applications as well, such as Prime, but there is the option to actually install the apps individually, just like I've showed you. Hope you found that useful. Bye now.